What is up, everybody? Random Random Man here, filming handheld style to give you my thoughts on this year's Academy Awards, aka the Oscars. They have just wrapped up minutes ago, and I wanted to quickly give my own fresh take on the ceremony. But first, for those of you that are regular viewers of mine, if you're noticing an uptick in quality, then you'll see that this is the first video I have made with my new iPhone 15. Yes, I have finally upgraded from my old 10R that I had for 5+ years. In fact, here is the first photo I took with my new iPhone after getting home from the Apple Store. So you'll see better visuals from here on out at least. But yeah, the ceremony, the Oscars. I'm going to go through each one of the categories that I covered in my last video, giving my predictions and preferences. And along the way, of course, I'll mention if I got anything right or wrong. And spoiler alert, I didn't get everything right, but here we go. We'll just go ahead and see. Best visual effects. This one I got correct. Godzilla Minus One won, and that was awesome to see those involved with the film get up on stage. First film in the Godzilla franchise, 70+ year franchise, to ever win an Academy Award. That was awesome. Best film editing. Oppenheimer got that correct. That was my choice to win as well. That was one of many dubs the film got. I'm not going to be sugarcoating anything here. Of course, that got the most wins as I predicted. Best costume design. I got this one correct too. Went to Poor Things. It was one of a few awards that Poor Things ended up winning here. And this also included the next category with Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which I got incorrect. I predicted Maestro. As soon as that movie lost that award, I was like, RIP to that movie getting any dubs. This and Past Lives were the only two Best Picture nominees to walk away empty-handed. So Poor Things got costume design, makeup and hairstyling. It also got production design, which I got wrong. I predicted Barbie to win it. So that's 3 tech wins right there. And noticing how the night was playing out, it was playing out similarly to how the BAFTAs this year went with each win, including the aforementioned one for Oppenheimer and Best Film Editing, Best Cinematography going to Hoyt van Hoytema for Oppenheimer, Best Sound going to The Zone of Interest. That was such a cool win to see. I predicted Oppenheimer, but my choice to win was The Zone of Interest. So that was cool to see. Of course, it also won Best International Feature Film. So getting 2 dubs was something really awesome to see for this kind of very important movie to watch. Best Original Song went to What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish from Barbie. In fact, look at my shirt. It says, in a world full of Kens, be an Alan. For those of you that don't know, Alan is my real name. And speaking of Kens, a fellow nominee, I'm Just Ken. That was my choice to win. For my preference, I predicted correctly that What Was I Made For was going to win. And seeing all the performances of the nominees was quite cool to see, including the I'm Just Ken one with Ryan Gosling and 65 backup dancers. That was one of the highlights of the night. But yeah, now Billie Eilish is the youngest Oscar winner to have more than 1 Oscar. Same for Brother, I believe. But yeah, awesome. I love these 2. These are legends. Yeah, such talent. Best Original Score, another music one. Oppenheimer, of course. Ludwig Göransson, Oscar number 2 after Black Panther. So awesome. Best Live Action Short Film went to The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which sadly Wes Anderson was not there to accept in person, but now he is finally an Oscar-winning filmmaker. So that is awesome to see for those who have followed his filmography for decades. The Best Documentary Feature Film category went to 20 Days in Mariupol, which I correctly predicted. I'm doing this all in one take, as you can tell. And some of the speeches had a lot of great activism with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, both wars and just having a lot of great messages, even with cinema being celebrated, of course. So yeah, that was deserving. Best Animated Feature Film went to The Boy and the Heron. I predicted that it would go to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And like Wes Anderson, sadly, Hayao Miyazaki wasn't there to accept. But, that was something that was cool to see, because this is only the second ever anime film, also directed by Hayao Miyazaki, to win in this category. Also, one of the few technically foreign language nominees, because originally this was done in Japan, of course. In theaters, I saw the Japanese audio version. So yeah, Boy and the Heron won. And like I said, BAFTA was predicting a lot of these because BAFTA had that movie win there. And then now getting to the major above the line categories, which has us see American Fiction win Best Adapted Screenplay, as I correctly predicted. Best Original Screenplay going to Anatomy of a Fall. Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Divine Joy Randolph, Robert Downey Jr. respectively. We all saw these coming. Best Actor, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Yeah, I was so happy to see that. My favorite film performance of last year winning. And then Best Actress. Notice how I said BAFTA was predicting all of these. It ended up predicting this as well. Emma Stone for Poor Things. And, I was really happy to see her win, even though, I was predicting Lily Gladstone to win. My personal choice was Sandra Hüller out of all of them. But, Stone in many ways did give the performance of the year with how physical it was, how transformative it was from beginning to end. And, now she has 2 Oscars, one of the few actresses, especially as young as she is, to have more than 1 Oscar. So, yeah, that helped Poor Things get to 4 wins, which was more than I expected it to get. And then, little suspense here, Best Director Christopher Nolan. My favorite filmmaker finally did it. I was so happy. I screamed at the top of my lungs when I heard his name be announced. And by Steven Spielberg, a GOAT as well. He's the GOAT. I mean, Christopher Nolan is a GOAT in his own right too. And yeah, finally, he has it. And then last award of the night, Best Picture, of course, went to Oppenheimer. What was there to be expected? When it was getting presented, though, Al Pacino. I love Al Pacino. He's a legend, but when he opened the envelope, he said it, as my friend Brandon pointed out, like in a manner that was like so unbothered, without even reading out the other 10 or all 10 nominees. I mean, to be fair, for Best Original Song, after all 5 of the nominees were performed, when Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande presented that award, they just went ahead and opened up the envelope, and then, yeah, it went to What Was I Made For? And I was recording live reactions on my Snapchat for each of the categories I was covering, so that caught me a little off guard with Best Original Song. And for sure with Best Picture, I was like, wait, whoa. Al Pacino was like, I see Oppenheimer. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. And I barely had time to react and record, so I was like, okay. But we were all expecting this. And if we're doing a grand total here, Zone of Interest got 2, Poor Things got 4, and then Oppenheimer got 7. I'm holding my phone with one hand, so 7. There we go. And yeah, most awards of the night. Second Best Picture winner in a row after Everything Everywhere All at Once last year. Got 7, including Best Picture. So yeah, what was there to say? I mean, a lot of it played out as expected, but with me, Oppenheimer being my favorite movie of last year, I was so happy to see it get as many dubs as it did. Christopher Nolan, chief among them, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emma Thomas, who has been married to Christopher Nolan for forever and also produced with him forever. I mean, these artists getting their due. And like I said, some activism here and there and mentioning a bunch of stuff. The In Memoriam got me choked up too. And then Jimmy Kimmel hosting. It felt like he was hosting for the 4th time because, he was doing a lot of the same stuff that he's known for doing. I enjoy him as a late night talk show host. And, they made a point of how this ceremony started an hour earlier where I am at 6 p.m. Central Time, even though it still ran a little over 3 hours. But some of the bits, I did enjoy. With the acting categories, they brought back something that I remember watching from the first Academy Awards ceremony that I saw live 15 years ago from 2009, where 5 previous winners of each of the categories went and gave a few words to each nominee before announcing the winner. That was cool to see that old tradition come back. I loved that. And yeah, in between, I mean, played out pretty much as expected here. So if we're doing grand total of how many categories I predicted and got right and wrong, out of the 21 categories I covered, I got 16 out of 21 of them correct. So that's about over 75%, 76%. So I didn't do too bad. I mean, I didn't get that near perfect score like I did a couple years ago when Coda won Best Picture. I was literally wrong in one category there, but I can't win them all. But I got most of them right, at least. And chief among them, of course, Oppenheimer getting the most dubs here. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about the Oscars for this year. As we always say, until next year, and Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment your thoughts on this year's Oscars, social media links in the description, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.